Welcome to Homesroom. Just like Homeroom, we start off our day getting together with our homies, swapping stories, even a little kiss and tell action. This podcast contains language not suitable for younger listeners, topics about sex and mental health. Discretion is advised. Our views are our own. Let class begin.
Hey, Caitlin, am I the asshole?
I would never say that ever. And if I thought you were, I would definitely tell you.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about today is, am I the asshole? And we got some Am I the Assholes pulled from the interwebs for you, the internet. So when we did this the last time, it was fun on our part. I don't know how out there felt it was. So this time you'll have to chime in and, if you have one that sticks out to you, decide, like, yes, no, that person's an asshole or that person isn't an asshole. And I disagree with you guys. You guys are dumb fuckers, whatever you want to say. Let's get some feedback on this one. So, Caitlin, how are you?
Listen, I'm doing really well because I hope that some of our fellow homies are also Sleep Token fans. And as we are recording this, Sleep Token just released their newest album, Even in Arcadia. And I have not stopped listening to it since it came out, like at this point, 5 days ago. So I'm very happy.
Oh, congratulations. So with the Am I the Assholes, you just kind of got to I don't know, I don't want to say jump into them, but you got to find, the headlines just grab you. So when I looked them up, I just headlines that grab me. And when I clicked on it, the ones that the headline grabbed me the most, the Am I the Asshole story was so goddamn long. I was like, man, I don't care if you're the asshole because you made me read 7 to 8 paragraphs. And now I don't remember why you thought you were the asshole to begin with. So yeah, you're the asshole just because you made me read that. So I don't know how you felt about that, but I feel like that was a shitty find in the end when you're clicking on those.
I tried to not choose any that were a billion paragraphs long for time's sake. There are some that might be a little bit long-winded. However, they are worth it, I promise.
Well, see, and that's the thing is if you're going to do it, cool, but make it be worth it.
Yes.
Don't make me read 7 paragraphs of you justifying why you aren't the asshole while asking me, are you the asshole? Because if you got to justify it, then probably. So I'm gonna hit you with my first one just because this one is literally the first one that popped up when I searched. And I feel like it's very you-centric. I feel like you have either been in this position, know somebody that's been in this position, and or could be in this position. So it says, am I the asshole for wearing a tight black dress that my friend's BF clearly can't handle? And I was like, ooh. That one is I don't know the particulars about this, but I'm gonna click on that one because that one seems super are you doing it on purpose? Did you not do it on purpose? What happened? And then the first thing says, okay, so this happened last weekend when we went out for a birthday dinner. I wore this fitted black dress I really love. It's nothing super revealing or crazy, just tight and made me feel good. I've worn it before and no one ever had a problem with it. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe this is on the up and up. Anyway, the night was fun until after dinner when my friend pulled me aside and asked me if I was trying to get her BF's attention. I was literally huh? I had barely even talked to him the whole night besides hi and maybe 1 or 2 random comments, but apparently he was staring at me and she got mad. She told me I shouldn't have worn something so distracting knowing he was going to be there. I told her I wore a dress for me and I can't control her BF acting like a creep. Now a couple of people in the group are saying I should have been more aware, in quotations and whatever, but others are saying she's just being insecure and taking it out on me. I don't know. Am I the asshole? It's goddamn.
Ooh, Ooh, you picked a really good one to get started with.
That's what I said. I was like, I'm going to start with that one because it was literally the first one, but also I knew you were going to have an opinion. So
Well,
what you got?
Unbeknownst to you, homie, here on over on the TikTok, there's also a controversy, kind of a topic that a lot of people are like giving their 2 cents about. That is about modesty in women and what they wear in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm already like pretty heated about this topic of conversation in general. First of all, initial reactions. No, she's not the asshole. Second of all, I'm confused and I have difficulty putting myself in the perspective of the friend. One, because that reaction just to me screams insecurity in that relationship, where that's your best friend. This is probably not the first or second or even 10th time that you're hanging out with your friend. Weird already. Third of all, women can wear what the fuck they want. If it is distracting to the man and they cannot be out and about in society and handle themselves, and they're just so insane and feral and cannot control themselves based on what women are wearing, they probably shouldn't be out and about in society anyways. Oh, you picked a really good one to start with. I say no, she's not the asshole.
So my thing is like, if there's like a hidden message in there that like we all glossed over because we all get caught up on the dress. We all get caught up on, like him being a creep and not being able to control himself. If all he was doing was looking at her, right, that doesn't necessarily make him a creep. It makes him a little like, hey, you have a girlfriend, so it makes you kind of shitty on that side, but that's not the topic at hand. She said we barely had conversations besides a couple of random comments and hi. So they didn't even interact. So he could control himself because he was not near her. He was doing other shit. So maybe your jealousy / your insecurity in both situations got the best of you, and you assumed he was staring because you were insecure. And any kind of looking at a person, and who knows whether he was actually or wasn't, because he's not the one telling this story, but like, she doesn't sound like she was overly concerned about him.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that like, if he was staring, then like he was being a creep. So like, it's only through the lens of like the girlfriend saying he was distracted. So like, maybe that's more about their relationship than it was the dress, is how I read that one.
I 100% agree with your assessment.
What you got? What's your first one?
All right, so my first one, I also wanted to come out swinging. Am I the asshole for filing a noise complaint about a single mom with a newborn? I, 26 female, live in an apartment. I'm a resident in a medical profession, and I work 100-hour weeks plus a lot of additional hours studying and paperwork. I hardly sleep as is. I cannot wear earplugs because I need to be able to hear my phone when I'm on call or if I'm called about a patient under my care. This happens frequently, and I never turn off my phone and only update it when I'm at work. My downstairs neighbor had a baby last month. Since she came home from the hospital, I haven't slept through the night. I know that the mom is trying her best. I'm sure she doesn't want to be woken up either, but I'm losing it. I fell asleep Thursday, standing up in the middle of rounds. My attending was not impressed, and I was reprimanded. My boyfriend has been encouraging me to file a complaint because it's not fair that I can't sleep. I have tried to talk directly to my neighbor to ask if she could stop walking around her whole apartment, or maybe if there could be some type of soundproofing done. But every time I've had the chance to go to her apartment, she's got a note about the baby sleeping and please don't knock. I spoke to my landlord Friday evening. I was very clear that I'm not trying to blame this woman. I just want to know if there could be some kind of soundproofing done or something. Saturday, I had an off mandated because I'm now considered at a risk to patients, which is causing a whole host of issues for me. I was sleeping and woke up to pounding and screaming. The mother was furious with me because of the complaint that I lodged. And she kept screaming to me about how I'm selfish and trying to kick out a single mom, etc. I lost it. I'm beyond exhausted and just screamed back. I told her baby is so loud she might cost me my job and that I can't function anymore because of her, and soundproofing isn't the end of the world. If she can't soundproof, she should be considerate and fuck off from apartment living. She started crying and left. I feel awful about it. I know I shouldn't have yelled. I know that makes me the asshole, but am I the asshole for filing a complaint? My impression was that the landlord was going to fix the issue and not kick her out. I don't want that. Is she the asshole?
Um, I so yes and no. She's she's a little the asshole because you didn't like you went through all of the like if you tried to talk to her and there was a this and there was a that and you tried to handle it another way and you went to the landlord. I like nowhere in there did I hear you specifically say you told the landlord, "Hey, I just like can you talk to her?" Or, like you didn't like I don't know what you actually expected to happen in the sense that like you went as high as you could basically go without calling like the police. And like at this point in post-COVID world, motherfuckers be getting kicked out for anything. So like I wouldn't have gone that route. But also like maybe the person in the apartment should realize that like, yo, if your baby's sleeping during the day and we can't knock on your door, does she work at night also? And that's why her baby's up at night. So like, there's a weird like scheduling thing because maybe your baby's sleep schedule is fucked up and you need to like work with your baby on staying awake during the day so you can get your baby to sleep through the night or vice versa, whatever the schedule is that you're because I'm sure nobody else is like, this is a peaceful apartment environment if your baby's that loud. So
I remember being in the trenches of newborn parenthood. There is no negotiating with that tiny little potato. They do what they want when they want. They wake up, they cry, they scream, they shit themselves. I am very interested. There was no follow-up posted because I was very curious about what does soundproofing an apartment actually entail and who was going to foot the bill for that. I also say yes and no, you're the asshole because I sympathize with both parties, especially like, oh my gosh, that was one of the reasons why my husband and I, we picked up and moved across the country when I did get pregnant with my first kid because we didn't want to live in an apartment and have our kid wake up to slamming doors and Mustangs in the parking lot revving their engines and all of that. Nor did we want to be a menace to our neighbors. But being sleep deprived, I would rather have bamboo splinters shoved under my fingernails than be sleep deprived. But also, if you're like working at a hospital and you're on call like that, like hospitals have sleep rooms. So I don't know. If you're desperate for sleep, it seems like there might be another place that you could.
Yeah, there's like it's like the little things like that, and that one that get me like, why aren't you doing that? But also like I understand it. As a person who used to work at 4:00 in the morning, like trust me, I fucking get it. But also when I like had things that were keeping me up, like I don't know. I guess I'm just not the victim in everything. So like I would look at it as a different way, and like I like literally. Maybe I missed it, but like, did she say she left a note talking to the lady?
She said she tried to go and talk to the mother directly, but the mother always had the note on the door that was like, don't.
Yeah,
don't.
Exactly. But did she leave a note back? Did it say?
No, she never said anywhere that she did.
And that's the thing. Like, then, like, you didn't go. If you never got an opportunity to talk to her directly, it could have been something that would work. And then you just, leave a note. Say, hey. I'm like I understand that you have a newborn, but is there anything that you can do about like the scheduling because I'm having a hard time sleeping? Maybe we can, schedule a time to talk when your baby's not asleep. Like come at it from an angle of like I'm an adult, not just like mom left a note on the door and I can't go in there. And then
that
go to dad and say
would have been more appropriate than to just jump straight to
that's what I said.
Landlord.
You went to go talk to mom. Mom said I'm asleep, and then you went straight to dad, and dad was like off with the fucking head. And then you were like, damn, I didn't realize I was getting that kind of result. But you went to dad, and dad's the one that usually is like, I don't got no time, no patience, fuck off. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm glad we agree on that one. Is like the both are kind of the asshole. So.
It's okay to be fence sitters on some of these. Okay.
Yeah. So my next one is, am I the asshole
Real.
for making my sister's gender reveal cake gray because she wouldn't tell me the gender?
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay.
so so this one says, um, I, 22 male, bake as a hobby, and I'm actually pretty good. I get paid under the table for weddings, blah blah blah. My sister is pregnant and wanted me to make the gender reveal cake. Cool, no problem. I asked her to send me the info so I could prep the inside of the cake pink or blue filling. So she says, "Oh no, I want it to be a surprise too. I'm just make it neutral. The reveal will be we all find out together." Huh? Deadline comes and I still have no gender, so I make the cake. It's gray inside, it gray outside, just full on full on cement vibes. I even added a little fondant cloud for effect. I it can't taste, or yeah, it still tasted great, but usually grim as hell, but visually grim as hell. Um, the reveal day comes, they cut into it, and my sister looks pissed. Her husband is confused. People start murmuring. Then she pulls me aside like, "Why would you make it gray? That's so passive." Am I the asshole?
No. What?
Right?
See, okay, so like that one, some of these have to be like made up or something. Like only because that one is so unreasonable to me. Like what?
Right.
You never gave the
Right.
brother the gender and then you threw a fit because there was a gray cake. Like initially the first part of it that you were reading, I was like, "Oh, like he just misunderstood because she just wanted like an unassociated, unaffiliated cake."
Yeah.
And then she got mad because there was no color on the inside, but she also said, "No, I'm not telling you the gender."
Yeah.
No, he's not the asshole. The sister is the asshole.
I agree, but also like, if you know me, I would have done the same fucking thing. And as her brother, she should have known that I would do some dumb shit like that, especially in the situation that you put me in. Like, what the fuck? What do you think? I'm going to make it yellow? I'm not going to make it yellow. If you don't tell me a color, then I'm going to pick a color myself. You lucky that shit wasn't like weird alien green. So when you ate it, your whole face was green. So every picture you took after you ate the fucking cake, you look like you, had some fun with the Incredible Hulk. Like, get out of here. No, you're just, no.
Concrete vibes. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. That one got me. That one got me. So I'm glad, again, we agree. This is a weird flow right now. I don't know what's happening, but me and Caitlin agree for the most part so far in this episode. Mark it down. That never happens. I bet you if you had that on your bingo card, you would have like, nope, never gonna win, but you might.
All right, so my next one. Am I the asshole for offering 2 different kinds of cake at our wedding? Hold on. My husband, 29 male, and I, 27 female, just had our wedding a couple of weeks ago, and we mostly got good feedback until today. We learned that a lot of people who were there have been talking smack about the cake behind our backs. My husband and I were originally going to have a smaller wedding at a resort. We were fortunate enough to be given some money to invite extra guests, so we decided to expand the wedding and have some of our second cousins and their kids and some friends that we don't otherwise get to see very often come. We are on a budget, so we decided to keep the fancy cake for the cake cutting pictures, not the real cake for immediate family, and the pastor and a few members of the wedding party that we have known the longest. So the fancy cake was reserved for the higher priority guests. We gave them the cake in boxes to take home, though, so they wouldn't be eating the fancy cake in front of everyone else. We got, everybody else, we got a couple of sheet cakes. One was vanilla and buttercream with rosettes, and then there was another sheet cake of pineapple chocolate chunk, especially for my husband's side of the family because they spend a lot of time in Florida. I don't know if that's like a Florida present cake, but Florida vibes.
Yeah, cool.
We found out from talking with family that there was a lot of full slices left behind on people's plates of the pineapple cake. We were having too much fun to notice at the time, and we loved catching up with all of our guests. Apparently, my husband's family did not like the cake like we thought they would, and there have been some unkind words behind our backs. We got a text from one of my husband's uncles saying, or that wasn't meant for us, and it really stung. We are unsure where to go from here and what to say. The cake did not go off like we hoped, but we think they are being unnecessarily mean. By the way, on top of the cake, there was a full dinner, three kinds of cheese available, and an open bar that didn't close until late. So I feel like we were pretty good to our guests on a shoestring budget. Am I the asshole?
Wedding ones just get me so like you're only the asshole because you decided to do something arbitrarily and like it just didn't work out. You're not the asshole in the sense that you made a choice at your wedding and people didn't like it. Like, no, they like whatever. You're the asshole because you let these people hurt your feelings. You know what I mean? Like get out of here. It's such a no. You're not an asshole for that. You're an asshole for the like for letting these people make you feel less than because you made a choice and they didn't like it. But also, like, is that a thing? Like, I know personally, I've had whatever it is that I guess is it an upside down cake when it's got the pineapple? Is that what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I've had it before, and I like it might not be my favorite thing, but I'd be like, oh yeah, you know, and I would eat around it. Maybe I'd leave the pineapple. Like the cake is still good as long as you get the soggy part off. But like, whatever, you know, get over it. But as a guest, you're the asshole because you should just shut the fuck up. Did you pay them to have this thing at your wedding? No, you didn't. Are you a guest at this wedding? Yeah, absolutely. Did you put in a special request for like, I want a fucking marble cake that also has red velvet on a layer and then like specific icing? No, you didn't. So shut the fuck up. Be happy that they tried to make a concession for you and didn't just give you like, you know, the Walmart bakery special. Get out of here.
A few things. I agree with you, Matt.
Wow.
Maybe that should be like the clip they post to Instagram for this
Did you know that there's a full moon tonight? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. There's a full moon tonight.
Okay, you know, we'll save that. Let's save that rabbit hole for a different episode because we have to talk about moon phases at some point. Okay, a few things. I chose this one because it perfectly encapsulates the parts of wedding planning that I just did not have the fucking patience for, and I could not give two shits less about. I don't give a fuck about cake as long as it's what I like and what my husband likes.
That's on record. Go back and listen to our weddings episode if you haven't already.
100%. I said it in that episode and I'll say it again. Thank God for my mother-in-law who just loves to event plan and like get caught up in the minutia of those details of, well, what types of cake and what about this side of the family? Maybe they'll have this kind of cake. So that's one of the reasons why I pick it because, oh my God. Second of all, no, the bride's not the asshole. There are some things that brides can do on their wedding days where they are the asshole for sure. This is not one of them. Absolutely not.
No.
Third of all, wedding guests definitely were the asshole. Okay. But also, when people show you who they are, believe them. Because if that's a whole side of the family that we're sending strongly worded text messages back and forth between each other about cake flavors, imagine what the fuck they're going to say when you start setting boundaries when kids get into the picture.
Yeah.
Or you guys like decide to pick up and move to a different part of the fucking country. Or any type of live your life how you want, and they're going to have something to say about it. When people show you who they are, believe them. What a stupid thing to cause conflict in a family. I'm like, that was perhaps one of the most mind-boggling parts of that.
Yeah, that's wild.
That one for me.
We had two cake ones and like opposite ends of the spectrum.
Oh,
and people
that was
are
the last
upset
thing.
about cake. What the hell?
I really want cake now. Maybe it's the full moon. Maybe it's because I'm PMSing, man. I don't know. I really want cake now.
I mean, I can't help you out with the cake because we don't live anywhere near each other. Maybe I don't know. I don't even know if I could like set my location to there because it's just far enough away to like order you a cake and have it delivered. Kind of deal. Yeah, exactly. But I will say, I think wedding cakes are an opportunity to have like a little bit of fun with your guests. Like my favorite thing is like when they have like the special cake for them to cut and like maybe the bridal party, and then it's just a bunch of different flavor cupcakes. And like if you are a good guest, you get in line, you wait, and you grab your cupcake. If you're a salty guest, maybe you're like, oh, I don't want a fucking cup. The cupcake isn't, whatever. If you're like me, you sneak to the back side of the table and see whether or not there's more cupcakes. So the good flavors that have already been pilfered from the front side are just on the back side now. And, then you get 2 cupcakes because you get one that you don't necessarily like, and then you're on the back side of the table. And when somebody comes over, it's like, oh yeah, I thought the line was on this side. And they're like, whatever. And then look at you like, cool, and move on. So like there's options about cakes. You don't got to be a dick about it. You can have fun with it. And we had fun with our cakes. So Caitlin, you will get a lovely kick out of this for our wedding cake. We had a 3-tier cake, right? The bottom one was chocolate. I'm not a chocolate fan, so like I didn't care for the chocolate one. The smaller next tier up was vanilla or white cake. Can you guess what the tiny cake was on top? And keep in mind what you know about culturally me and Courtney.
Oh God. Marble?
It was marble because it was the tiny little mixed cake. So when we cut into when we cut into it, it was like the best thing because people were like, "Oh, which one? What is it all the same?" It's like, no, there's a difference. The big one is a chocolate cake, and then the smaller one, and then the baby is a mixed one. And then every time we said it, it was like beet red faces or dying laughing. It was the best thing. I could not have asked for anything better in that moment because it was funny to tell every single time. And then, everybody was like immediately like, I want some of that swirl just to be a smart ass. It was good. See, you can have fun with it.
Fun little thing, especially for like you and Court to be able to giggle for the rest of your lives about. I was going to guess either marble or maybe like, what did you already say that one of the other layers was red velvet?
I didn't.
I was going to guess like the top one was red velvet for like horror movie themed or something.
That would have been a good idea.
But so, your hint really helps me a lot.
That was like one of those really fun moments that like, I don't know, like she was like, it's fun. Let's make a pineapple upside down cake because Florida. And like, that was cute to her. And it just missed its mark with the people that it was supposed to be funny for. And instead of taking it as like because it's a Florida thing, they took it as what the fuck? And that's just stupid. Question: did you freeze your cake and eat it a year later? Did you do that?
No. Fun fact. We were so busy talking to all of our guests that we actually never had a cake. I was not interested in doing like cutting and the feeding each other. I just was like, bleh. I just want to party with my friends and my family. Shout out to Patty Shue, a family friend who makes the most amazing cupcakes. Okay, she saved one of each. She made like 4 different flavors, one of each of the 4 different flavors for us. We finally get to the hotel. We're about to leave on a flight to our honeymoon the next morning. We get to the first hotel room. Air conditioner's broken. So they upgrade us to a suite where the air conditioner is working, but we had already like been halfway unpacked by then. My husband, bless his heart, we're moving all of our stuff from one hotel room to the other. He drops 2 of the cupcakes and accidentally rolls over it in the suitcase. So 2 cupcakes down. We have 1 peanut butter cupcake that is still to this day in our freezer because every year on our anniversary, we forget to get it out and let it thaw and eat it.
Ew.
It'll be 5 years in September, dude.
Ew. Yeah, I know. I did the math. Ew. We did it. We put it in there for a year, and then we looked at that fucking piece of cake a year later and was like, I ain't fucking eating that. No.
It's just one teeny little cupcake taking a tiny little corner.
That tastes like fucking broccoli at this point.
We'll report back later this year. Maybe if we remembered to thaw it out.
Fucking yeah, that's gross. Moving on. So this one is employer expects us to use work/uniform pictures on our personal social media accounts. Yeah, let that one sit in. I'm going to read that again. Employer expects us to use work/uniform pictures on our personal social media accounts. To summarize, I'm employed by a newer security company, and they're essentially trying to force us to live their brand. Quotes. One of the things they've been pushing the last 2 weeks is updating our profile pics on social media and on certain green apps of us in our uniform. They do not provide separate or business accounts, and all the accounts in question are my personal accounts. Am I the asshole for refusing to conform? I checked the handbook, etc., and we haven't signed anything that would legally obligate me to comply. I feel like I'm doing good. I feel like I'm doing good too much, but it feels wrong. And I was like, so I understand live the brand. Are you paying me to put this shit on my social media? Is my first question. But Caitlin, are they the asshole for not wanting to do that?
Fuck no. Absolutely not. No, they are not the asshole. Because here's what I know about private security. First of all, we live in under a capitalist society. Some would argue late stage capitalism. We don't have time in this episode to argue what stage of capitalism that we're in. We are just put cogs in the machine of capitalism. So I know, first and foremost, you're already being laughably underpaid. You're likely not being paid a livable wage in the first place. Third of all, I know for sure that that's the case, depending on the level of private security company that you're at. Unless you're like super bougie corporate catching private jets to escort fucking, dictators and politicians on their own dime. No, you are not paid enough. Also, oh my gosh. Live the brand?
Yeah.
No. If you want your company to be branded, then hire a social media manager or do it your fucking self. I could see if it would be like strongly encouraged for like LinkedIn profiles, but even that as a suggestion, no. On your private accounts, absolutely the fuck not. Especially if you're private security, I could see why there would be, you probably don't, there might be a part of that staff that are like, I don't want everybody to know what I do for a living anyways, so fuck no.
So my mind immediately goes to the tactical disadvantage of putting that on your social media, because it's like, oh, you work for private security and who knows what you do. You might be a person that's like, a bouncer at a bar, security at a bar, and you get into an altercation and they don't know who you are necessarily. But then your fucking profile pops up, or they get your first name, and then the first thing that pops up is you in your goddamn uniform logoed, and it's like, that is that motherfucker. And now you got a whole other situation to worry about. So like anonymity, as far as like a tactical advantage in a situation, is probably your best, kept secret weapon, is people not knowing who or what you do, and that aids you in being able to do your job, because you can go home and not feel like somebody's going to be waiting in the bushes because you kicked them out of a bar because they had too many drinks at like 1:59. You know what I mean? Like, no, I personally have had, like, I grew up with a lot of security friends. 3 have been injured on the job, 1 shot, 2 stabbed over stupid stuff. And it's always situations like that. And I couldn't imagine them putting that stuff on their social media, because that would just have made them a bigger target. Everybody already knows who they are, because security companies aren't like, there's not enough of them to do a bunch of like different events. So, oh, that's that guy from that other place. So that's already hard enough for them to be like, oh, you also work this shift, or you also work at this place. So no, that's just dumb.
I have some like assumptions about the age of the supervisors that are pushing that. That could be wrong, might be wrong, but it's like, our company is a family. You should live the brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck you, pay me. All right.
Nah. That's
My next
absolutely
one.
nope.
Am I the asshole for refusing to sign anything while my eyes are blindfolded? Ever since I got out of the hospital for chronic problems, my husband has been introducing me to some games every evening. One game used to be about doing things while my eyes are blindfolded, involving puzzles, Rubik's Cubes, shaped objects, etc. We'd take turns to just do it for entertainment. Just a couple of days ago, he's been trying to get me to sign papers while wearing a blindfold. I refuse to do it because he never lets me take a look at what I'm signing, either before or after. He says that he's just trying to see if I could leave the same signature every time I sign, but I couldn't help but feel uncomfortable. I told him I don't want to play this game unless he shows me the papers first, and he said, never mind then, and stopped bringing it up. Last night, he tried to convince me to give it a try and even volunteered to go first. I asked if he was going to show me what I was going to sign, and he made a face and said, no, it's the rules. I should respect them. I refused, and he kept on about how I keep acting worried and suspicious for no reason. He said I clearly don't trust him, and he was hurt by finding that out now after everything we've been through. We had an argument, and I told him to drop it and not bring it up again, period. He was mad despite saying it was no big deal, and he was obviously upset with me and kept talking about how I don't trust him and that I was out of line to assume or suspect anything from him like this. I might be paranoid, but I couldn't help it. I do think it was odd. I do think it was taught to him after he stood by my side when my own family didn't even visit. I don't know. He appears to be the only person that visited her in the hospital. Am I the asshole for not signing paperwork while blindfolded that my husband is suspiciously pushing onto me?
No, I don't know how. Like, yours have all been hilariously like. No, you're absolutely not the asshole. You're the asshole for even thinking that you're the asshole. Like, that's why you're the asshole. Like, no, I don't. So, like, what is this? Like, fucking Looney Tunes? Like, here's this document, sign it. And then meanwhile, like, you're signing over like the rights to your like kidneys and shit. Like, no, like, what? That is ludicrous. Absolutely not. Like, and then I question you about it, and then you're skittish. Like your response to me asking you a question is, you don't trust me? It's like, what? Why is that where you went? I don't understand. Why did you go from what is it? What is it? Why, and to I don't trust you. Like,
it's so odd that you're so suspicious as you're freshly out of the hospital.
Yeah, like what? No. It's like, so you're telling me that it would be fine if I walked up to you and said, here, sign this document, husband. No, you would not be okay with it. And it's like, now I'm locked into like carting you to a fucking book club and sitting outside waiting for you until it's over. Like, get out of here. No. What?
So I picked this one because it sounds like the first of all, the beginning of one of the most shittiest Lifetime movies I've ever heard of in my life. The plot is the beginning of a plot. Second of all, I picked this one also because my lawyer sister, I can just like picture her cringing violently to this.
Excuse me while I get this notarized. Like,
exactly. So it's like, I don't know about in Kansas or like with your marriage license or whatever, it's very traditional around here to sign the marriage license the night before the rehearsal dinner. So it's just like one less thing you have to worry about the day of. She's so ethical that she didn't want to sign it because it had the next day's date on it, and it was a legal document that she was signing as a witness to our marriage. And I'm like, she's that ethical about that. I could just imagine what she would say about this Reddit post. Thirdly, no, you're not the asshole. But I giggle at this like picture of a married couple who's like, and he's like, hey, sick job doing that Rubik's Cube. Sign some paperwork for me, please.
Right.
What? One thing about these Am I the Asshole posts that I always just love is some of these prompts and these Am I the Assholes. Do you What is the circumstance where is a feasible option for you to type out a whole story like this and post
Yeah.
it to Reddit
Yep. Yeah.
to get validation that you are not the asshole for being cautious about signing paperwork blindfolded?
Yeah.
I have larger concerns. Please, if you need a friend, call me, because oh my goodness.
Right. Like I can't tell if these people are like naive or like literally are just like, this is really bugging me and I need somebody to give me an honest opinion because I don't think anybody I know is going to give me an honest opinion. Like, what? Like, I'm still stuck on this. I'm still stuck on this cake thing. Like, what? Like, both of y'all are fucking flipping out over cake. Like,
and if they're in a situation where that is what is required of them, that they have to do this and post it on Reddit, which is notorious for having like all kinds of discourse about am I the assholes? Am I the assholes like grew in popularity, especially in the last like 2 or 3 years on that platform in general. I just have such serious concerns. I would probably try to privately message that poster and be like, are you okay? Are you safe? Do you
Right.
need help?
Right. Blink fucking twice. That's, yeah, I don't know. Like, when I think about like what would I write for like am I the asshole, and I think about all the things, my mind immediately is like, no, you're not the asshole. That's just fucking stupid. Like, this is society. That's how this shit works. No. So I don't know. I'm gonna summarize my next one because it was super long and it doesn't need all the fluff. And it is, am I the asshole for not inviting my neighbor's kids to my kid's birthday party? Right?
Okay.
It's like, okay. So she's 25. Her kid was turning 7. They had a birthday party in the backyard. Nothing, and this is why I'm summarizing it, because she is this person. So nothing too big. A few friends from school, a few people, a few parents, and like friends that they know that have kids, and a bouncy castle. That's a little bit big. And then the neighbor was complaining after the party that it was too loud. The kids were making noise for a long period of time and it was disruptive to their evening. And she said, oh, sorry, like, I didn't realize that was a problem. While also getting snide comments back to her about how it was a little unfair that she didn't invite the neighbor kid or kids because they just got to sit there and watch the people have fun next door instead of participating. And she said the neighbor is 30, so there's like a 5-year age gap. That's important for this, which is why it's specifically noted. And her kids are, I think it said it in here. Her kid, like, they've only met the neighbors like 2 or 3 times, but the neighbor kids are quite a bit younger than her daughter. Yeah, they're about 3 or 4 is what it says. So like, they're not even in the same age bracket as the kids that would have been at this party. And then the 30-year-old mother starts making comments about how young moms are the problem and don't understand, and then continued to make passive, pointed Facebook statuses. So they must be Facebook friends as well. So they're a little bit closer than they originally stated, which is why I'm summarizing all of this, because there's a lot of fluff with not the important information up top. So then she obviously got mad, and then the Facebook comments and statements started to be more pointed and less passive. So she took to Reddit to ask, was she the asshole for not inviting the neighbor kids to the birthday party? So what you got? What do you think?
She is only the asshole if she didn't do her due diligence and send a message to the neighbor and be like, hey, just want to let you know there's going to be an event in my house. Might be some weird parking, like our neighbors in our subdivision do all the time for each other. If that didn't happen, maybe I could see a little bit of assholishness, but no, you are not obligated to invite significantly younger kids to your own kid's birthday party. And also, I just know they be living in a fucking small town. If that's the Facebook post and the passive aggressiveness and like the petty hens clucking that occurred afterwards. Oh, I just get small town vibes from that. I say, no, she's not the asshole. And also, that's your kid's birthday party? Fuck any other kid. That's your kid's birthday. Whatever.
So, I'm going to climb up on my soapbox, which I never really do. So
Let's
I'm
go.
going to climb up on my soapbox. And the first thing I'm going to say is, this is the exact situation that every little kid should be in at some point in their life, watching the fucking neighbor across the street playing and having a good ass fucking time on that bouncy house, and then you're like, damn, I wish I was able to go over there. And then you bug your parents for the next fucking 15 years about a bouncy house, and guess what? They never get you that bouncy house, and it will stick with you. And then when you're older, your kid will be that kid with a motherfucking bouncy house because you wanted it. And guess what? You're going to hop your ass in that bouncy house, and you are going to have the time of your life because it's 30 fucking years of waiting for this moment. And now you finally have it. No other bouncy house up till that point will satisfy that need, because it's like, man, I still never had that one. So, yes, your kid is sad. However, explain to your kid, yeah, some people can afford to do bouncy houses. We can't. It would have been fun had they invited you, but also, like, let's go do something so that you're not stuck staring at the fun you could have. As a kid who was often in trouble, so stuff was happening outside. As a kid who didn't have much money, so fun shit like that was very rarely at my disposal. I could tell you, it like, that kid is dreaming of that shit, and it will be a marker of success to be like, I got my kid a fucking bouncy house because I never had one. There you go. I'm climbing off now.
That's what he said. Matt just essentially did the old school rub some dirt in it, builds character.
Exactly. That is exactly what I did. 100%.
And
that was what I was going for.
I don't disagree at all. I don't disagree.
Like, legitimately, like, what the fuck? Like, I get it. And yes, you are like a small percent the asshole if you didn't invite the kid, as in, like, you didn't let her know that it was happening. And it's like, oh, it's, just friends from her school. We're not inviting a lot of kids over because we're not, like, we splurged on the bouncy house, so we don't have the means to do anything else, because that could be the situation. I don't know. Maybe grandma paid for kid's birthday and she can only do certain things, and she's setting stipulation. There's so many little things that, like, nuance it. But yeah, no, she should have let her know. And again, if you see a motherfucking bouncy house roll up and get inflated and you're mad because kids made noise, you were just salty because your kid wasn't there. It had nothing to do with the fact that, like, they were making noise, because you knew that bouncy house was going to be going for the next 17 hours. Like,
what do you think they're going to do? Jump in it quietly?
Right. Exactly. And, like, and have you ever tried to get a kid out of a bouncy house? Have you ever tried to get fucking, like, slightly tipsy adults out of one? And I guarantee there was at least 2 or 3 of them motherfuckers in there if she's 25. So, like,
oh yeah.
Like, not the asshole.
All right, I have one more. Let me just start this off by saying, I picked this one because my parents are dead. You ready?
All right. Thank you for that setup. I appreciate it.
Am I the asshole for refusing to go to my wife's deceased husband's family's house for Thanksgiving? My 36 storyteller, 36-year-old male, has a 33-year-old female wife. She lost her first husband several years ago from a brain aneurysm. They had 2 boys together, who are 7 and 6, and I have made my peace with the fact that she will always love him. She even has a sort of shrine to him in our home, and I would never ask her to remove it. We got married only a couple of years ago, and last Thanksgiving, she asked me to come with her to Thanksgiving at her former in-laws' house. Apparently, she's gone to their house for Thanksgiving since her first husband died. I support this, as it's a way for her to stay connected to her first husband's family, and also since it's a way for her 2 kids to maintain a relationship with their father's side of the family. So I went last year. It was a little uncomfortable, but her late husband's family treated me really well. They were very kind and welcoming to me. It wasn't a bad Thanksgiving, but still really awkward, and I felt very out of place. This year, my wife is trying to get me to go back, but I just want to go have Thanksgiving with my own family. I've invited her along, but also told her that I understand if she doesn't want to go, but that we should be moving forward. If she doesn't want to go, fine. But if she doesn't want to go, fine. And she shouldn't try to make me go to Thanksgiving to her late husband's family's home. She responded that we can have Christmas, Easter, and the 4th of July, etc. with either her family or my family, but that she's pledged Thanksgiving to her late husband's family, and that I should come with her as her husband to support her. I don't want to. I think it's weird and morbid. Am I the asshole?
So did it say how long they've been married in there?
No.
That was a key bit of information I think he left out or omitted on purpose. So if like my immediate is, yeah, you're kind of the asshole, but you're kind of the asshole in the sense that like you can go do whatever you want to do. She doesn't have to go with you. But if she said we're gonna come to, and she's got kids that are grandparented by those like that family, and they welcomed you and didn't like treat like, yeah, it was awkward because it's just an awkward situation.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, yeah, man, like especially an event like that, like something similar like to what you had, like where the death is sudden. It's not like, they were sick for a really long time and you knew it was coming kind of deal. It's just like like that, it just suddenly happened. She would still probably be married to that person had that not happened. So while it may be new and uncomfortable to you, that's her like fucking existence, man. Like, nah. And again, you didn't tell us how long you have been married or together or any of that kind of stuff, in the sense of like how many times you've had to go do this. If she just brought it up and this is the very first time you've done it, and like, she's been bugging you about it, and this is just the first time you actually said yes and it was uncomfortable for you, be uncomfortable for a motherfucking day and then be like, hey, guess what? Like, let's go do something fun shortly after, so that like you get something as far as like a reprieve from something else you don't want to do later on, because that's a big ask. Yeah, but also like just like fucking swallow yourself for a day, hang out, get some fucking food. But I've also gone on record as saying the holidays are just fucking weird, and I hide magazines in people's houses. So like, let's remember that I don't necessarily enjoy going places where I'm uncomfortable and there's nothing to do as it is. And I'm still saying you're kind of the asshole. Just suck it up for the day. Like, fucking
shout out Mama Holmes and all of her randomly stocked car magazines around the time of Thanksgiving.
Yep, exactly.
My perspective. Let me just preface this. Yes, I picked this because my parents are dead. There was always a part of me that, like, I lost my mom in 2008. There was always a part of me that always kind of hoped and wished that my dad would not necessarily move on, but find a new partner and remarry and not be alone and find a new person to share their life with. So I'm answering it from that mindset of, you have no idea, like, the role that you're playing on that front, as she has suffered this like massive unexpected loss
with kids.
But then also, really the only temporal hint that we get is she lost her first husband a few years ago. So it can't, I don't, say what you want about concluding how long they're married together. It's very clearly not that long if this is only the first and second Thanksgiving that they're now having to deal with this. She's not only that, she's like embracing vulnerability again and like trying to have a new life partner when everything trauma response would be like, why would I get the government involved with another person if they're just going to up and croak like the first one did? Okay. When I say yes, the storyteller is the asshole, because yes, that's your new, like, that is your partner, but you also have the additional layer of being a step parent. And that step parent role means that you should be having an interest in the other people present in your new stepchildren's lives. First to be a protector, call me a pessimist, whatever, but also just to like see the village. It takes a village like that. Those are more people that are in your village. Maybe it's uncomfortable for the storyteller. Take the skirt off and fucking deal with your shit. Be present and be there for your partner and be there for your stepchildren.
That share blood with those people, not you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, he's the asshole.
Yeah, 100%. I'm glad that was your last one, because like legitimately, like it is a very you thing to present with, but man, there's fucking deal with it. Like it's one thing if it's just like, oh, I got to go to my fucking in-laws and I hate them. That's you don't hate them. You said that they were, like very welcoming. So you're just uncomfortable because you're uncomfortable. Fucking figure out who's playing football. Find one of the people that's there and just sit down and watch the fucking game and eat some food. Because it sounds like I'm assuming they're feeding you. Shut the fuck up.
It's Thanksgiving. You're not the only person on that day of the year that has to suck it up and deal with extended family members that you'll only ever see for that one day of the year. Chill.
Right. Fucking, like, do you want them to leave you alone? And that's the problem, is they were talking too much. Fucking, like, bring some gross ass food that nobody's gonna want, and then they won't invite you back, and solve the issue that way. Like, don't just be like, I don't want to go. Like, show up, make an effort, do whatever you got to do, and like fucking be there for your wife. Be like, yo, you're gonna give me the good loving after this. Like, whatever. I don't fucking care. Do something for that situation, because like that's what you need to do, is support your wife or your partner, whatever she is. I don't know. I think you said wife, right?
Yes,
like,
wife.
So yeah. So if 6 months at most, maybe, that like you had to have been dating. If she lost her husband 3 years ago, this is the second Thanksgiving. Like the timeline is so compressed here. Like, just fucking deal with it. Don't get married to somebody that lost a fucking spouse. Then like,
you should have known that this would be something that was going to come up before you got the government involved with her. But I don't know. Maybe he didn't have any foresight.
Am I the asshole for not wanting my kids' blood-related grandparents to come over for their birthday parties and fucking Christmas and all those things just because they're here? Like, no, shut the fuck up.
It's really morbid. Yeah, having a dead dad does that.
Right, exactly. Fuck. Oh my god. Anyway, you'll have to tell us out there whether Caitlin and I are the assholes, especially on this last one, or if you agree with us on any of these, that like these people or whatever. I think, did we agree on all of them?
Pretty well. Maybe some of the reasoning was a little bit not in line, but I think overall, yes.
So that just happened. There's a full moon, and that's fun. So we did some stuff that never happens. We agree. Sometimes we have like different ways of getting to the same thing, but we still don't really agree. We just like accept the fact that she thinks differently than I do. But yeah, no. So if you have a fun that am I the asshole that you've come across, or you yourself want to know whether you're the asshole, send it in. Let us know, because I think that would be really fun to have something to talk about in real time. Speaking of time, it's that time to end the episode. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed it. What about you, Caitlin? Did you enjoy it?
I love these episodes. I think we should do more of them, but
which means that you out there should listen to them. And if you're listening to this part, you probably did listen to it because it's at the end. So, bye.
The bell is about to ring. If you want to drop us a voice message or simply ask a question, you can do that by clicking the link in the show notes below. Be sure to leave us a 5-star review. It helps more people find us. Theme music by Kinsey. More music available on Spotify. Remember, every day is a class. Go learn something.